But while people come in, I'm gonna start the live stream on Instagram.
Okay.
I ended up changing cameras. The first time that we have somebody. Hey, thanks for
Ah,
joining. The first time that I live stream, or the other times that we live stream, I was using a Canon camera, and I guess they have a shut off timer, so every 30 minutes they shut off.
ah.
It's a weird thing. So it's I guess in the category that they are, and I don't understand this why that only happens on Canon cameras. So they don't allow you to record more than 30 minutes of video at a time. And I guess the way to do that is that after 30 minutes, the camera will turn off.
Well, that's a bit inconvenient.
Yeah. So even if I mean, I have one of those dummy batteries where it's actually connected to the power, but it's just in shape. The connector is in the shape of a battery, so it's continuous power. But every 30 minutes, it shuts off. It's. But Sony cameras don't do that. Go figure.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's a feature to Canon, you know.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna connect this to that as well. So that way they'll hear you on Instagram, but they won't be able to see you. So maybe that will urge them to come over to YouTube.
Enticement. There you go.
Yes. I'm I'm pinning a comment here so they can join through that link that I put on the in my profile. Okay, so we have about 32 people on Instagram.
Wow. All right. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming,
so
everybody.
yeah,
Hope some of them are into building robots.
yeah. Come on over to YouTube. I'm probably going to get banned on Instagram for poaching all the users there and bringing them over to to YouTube.
Are you not allowed to do that?
Well, yeah, yes, but they I guess they kind of bring down your reach when they when they find out.
Ah, okay. Oh, well. We'll try to be discreet about it.
Any news on Robby Lee?
Well, yeah, it's been an interesting week. I kind of split the week between getting Robby ready for the beta launch, which we're getting real close on now. Um, that and working on the company, getting ready for doing our startup launch.
Okay.
Um, on the Robby side of it, I had a soft story that I was pursuing
Uh-huh.
that exploded into what should have been an epic. I ended up spending about a week and a half getting it done, but it was really something. One of the interesting things that I'm kind of facing as we move towards beta with Robby is how the heck I'm going to support the thing. Um, when you think about what it does, we're
Hmm.
telling people this is a programming framework. So go in and program it to do whatever you want, and it's going to do its piece of it. And I'm thinking that's not going to be that easy to support in some ways.
I
because
see.
people, there's no telling what people are going to get in there and try to do, or how much they know about any of it or anything else. So I've been working a lot on adding features and tools to the product that are going to make that whole process easier. And this was one of those. Um,
Okay.
I was linking, I won't go into too much depth on it because nobody will know what I'm talking about yet, but linking connectors to message schemas so that you can have a locked in message schema that goes with the connector. So, as an example, we have our Azure custom vision connector that
Mm-hmm.
does object detection using Azure. Um, and I'm finding that there's certain fields I really need in a message schema that's going to go with that. When I send a message to it, well, it needs a base 64 image in there to work.
Oh, okay.
So I've locked down a message schema you need to use with that connector. And there'll be a couple others like that, like the LiDAR connector, the RP LiDAR connector will be similar, where, okay, you need to use this schema because we need to know we have these fields to publish information to. So that was pretty good chore to build that into the app. But I think it's going to add a lot. I think it's going to make it a lot easier to support. It'll avoid us getting calls when somebody's trying to use the custom vision connector and they don't have the image going out with the message. So
Okay.
that's in there. The other big support thing I'm doing, I got in and looked at the help system I built into it. And it just, I don't feel it's adequate. So I started building a regular chum file, chum and HTML. It's actually, I'm using a piece of software that I can either produce it as chum or HTML or PDF. So we'll be able to have our help system on the website as well as inside the program.
Okay. Is that the Git book thing that?
No,
Oh,
I looked at Gitbook. I looked at about 10 or 15 different ones. Joined a couple and then dropped them. The one I arrived at so far that I think is going to work well for us is called DR Explain. It's a nice product. Uh, you're automatically building all three formats as you build the help, and you can put in videos and images, and it's not too outrageously priced. These things turn out to be expensive for the most
yeah.
part. Some of them are like $1,500
Yeah.
for a seat. This one's a little under $200 for a seat,
Okay.
and it seems pretty good. So I'm going to try it. I'm on a trial version right now. We'll see how it goes.
It's sometimes it's difficult, for companies to price things like that, right? Because they might think that it's already an established business with customer base, and a lot of the times is people like us who are just starting out and don't have a lot of cash to
Yeah.
pay for something like that.
Well, and there's also this factor in there too of I kind of realized as I was looking at them, there's probably just not that huge of a market for help authoring systems.
Yeah,
So you got to get some wallet for each one of them, or it's not going to be worth the time.
that is true.
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting trade-off there. But this one seems like it might work out well for us. We'll just have to come up with $190 at some point.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
The
I
other
think
really, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was gonna say you're making me look bad because I haven't had time to finish the tasks I gotta do.
Well, I'll throw my little guilt jabs out here. Not really.
The only thing that I actually did do is just set up the stuff for the live stream and get that worked out, and I guess it turned out well, or it was good that we moved it to today, because when I tried to get things ready yesterday for the live, it said that I had to wait 24 hours to be able to stream on YouTube. So I don't remember going through that with the other channel, but here, I guess when you apply to be able to go live on YouTube, you have to wait 24 hours. So
So the first time you do it, you have to do it.
yeah,
Okay.
Once
Okay.
you go live the first time, then you don't have to wait. So
I
and
get it.
it wasn't yesterday, it was Wednesday, right? That we had planned to go live in
Right.
the
Right.
afternoon. Yeah. Yep.
Well, little
So
lessons as we go.
yeah.
The other real interesting thing I did this week, I think I mentioned to you I was going to, is I enrolled in Y Combinator Startup School.
Okay.
And I've been going through their curriculum, and boy, is it ever an eye opener. It's really good, though, and somewhat gratifying for the most part. We're kind of in tune with what it's saying we should be doing. So that's good. That's comforting.
Yeah. There the I guess one of the things that I remember was that so for example, just to kind of look back at when I was at the startup, the reason why, or one of the reasons why um, we weren't given a shot, was that the co-founders need to be involved. And last time it was to where the other two co-founders, along with me, they were just bringing in the money, but they weren't really involved.
Right.
And when we pitched them the idea, that was kind of one of the things they said, is like, well, because they want you to commit. Like if they do accept you, right? You probably read through their, guidelines and
Oh, yeah.
rules and all that. So they want you to commit and be there. So yeah, that was one of the things. They weren't able to do that. They weren't really involved. They were just paying the bills pretty much.
Which there's something to be said.
Yeah. So they didn't see them as as co-founders. They were more like investors in this whole thing. So they didn't like that too much. But like I remember those guys that I showed you that got a lot of money from in Latin America for that educational company they have, Platzi. They got, I think, 68 or 69 million dollars. They came out of Y Combinator as well. So it's a good incubator, I think. I lost you, Lee. I can't hear you. I wonder if it's me. It's on my
No,
end.
I think. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I hear you.
I think I accidentally pushed the button on my headset
Oh,
to
okay.
turn off the mic. Yeah, I really like how Y Combinator does this startup school. Man, it's really enlightening and different than how I thought things should be in some ways, particularly about how you want to do your pitch and what you want to say in your pitch when you're first like describing what your company is, that all important elevator thing. you
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um Really different than where I was going with it. It's really interesting to me. The very first things you should say are always very concrete things about what the product is and who's going to use it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's all. Like one sentence that just describes that. So, it feels like it's giving us a better chance at approaching this in a way that might actually get us somewhere.
Yeah. And I did finish watching that video, that you sent, that link with Kevin Hale.
All right,
Um,
about doing the
yeah,
pitch.
yeah, I
Really
like that.
interesting stuff, huh?
Yeah, I like the Y4Z. Oh, we are the Y4Z. And sometimes,
Yeah, yeah. We're the LinkedIn for airline pilots.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I don't know what we are. We're the Ross for Windows nerds. There.
yeah, yeah.
But one thing that they stress everywhere through it is your biggest single thing you should be doing is talking to your users.
Yeah.
And what we're doing right now is the beginnings of that. I think so. I think we're on a right track here, kind of opening up these channels and starting to try to develop those. They really stress how the most important thing is getting those first few users
Mm-hmm.
more than
There,
anything else.
there is a guy. His last name is Blank. Um, I can't remember his first name. Blank with the C at the end. And I saw him at a conference, and that was one of the things that he said. Right, it's you need to get out. You need to get out of the office, and you need to talk to people. But right now, getting out could mean different things, right? Getting
Yeah.
out could be get on a Zoom call or call someone or reach out. But what he said pretty much is your the future of your product is not in your office on your desk. It's out there where the people are. So get out there
Yeah.
and talk to your users and see if what you're building is even a thing. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
And
and
that's exactly.
there's
Okay.
also another book, Lee. I don't know if you've read it, which is sort of like I consider it sort of like the Bible for for entrepreneurs who are starting or doing a startup. It's called the Lean Startup.
Mm.
So if you haven't read it, if you ever get a chance, that's an excellent book that like a lot of those principles, like why Combinator uses them and other incubators. But pretty much the whole essence of the book is iteration, just kind of like the way that we do it in software, right? Is you build something, you put it out there, get feedback, and then iterate again and put it out there again. So it's just like that loop, right? That it's always
Yeah.
continuously improving. And then if you don't get you don't get a lot of traction, if you see that whatever you're doing is not getting you the results you want, then consider pivoting, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
I'm not sure what we pivot to exactly, but
yeah.
yeah, but interesting thing. Yeah, I think that's the kind of the biggest place that you could argue maybe we haven't been as on target as we should be. Is I think from what I've watched of them, you could make a really good argument we should have launched about a year and a half ago.
When we
Um,
were building when well, I guess yes and no, Lee. So I do see the argument because I went through that at um the last go that I had at a startup, where we built the whole thing, and then we had it ready with all the features that we thought people were going to want. Then we open it up, and then there's no one no one there. And that's when we started doing our marketing, like getting out there and reaching out to people.
yeah.
I think, like in our case, is we have to have something to be able to show them and put in their hands. I think in our case, our MVP, I guess, is more elaborate than other MVPs. Or
Yes.
yeah, so but I think I do understand what they're saying, that we need to get out there as quickly as possible, but we need to have something to put in their hands, right? Like, hey, here we have this. What do you think of this? And
Well, yeah. And it's kind of. I think we're at least borderline being in a category. I'm not sure if you run into it or not on YC on Y Combinator. Um, they have this category of startups that they call hard tech, and I think we borderline on hard tech. And the
I
idea of
didn't.
hard, huh?
Yeah, go ahead. I was
Oh,
just
the
gonna ask,
idea
what
of
is
hard
that?
tech is the idea of hard tech is you're doing something hard. You're doing something that needs to be proven that it even actually works, and there's a lot to it for it to work. And I think we kind of borderline on that. The idea here that we're putting this product out that says we're ready for you to build a robot that does whatever you want it to do.
Yeah,
There's a lot to prove there to prove that we're actually doing that. In my heart of hearts, I believe we are. I think I'm proving it with the sensor fusion tests we've been doing and stuff.
hmm
But there needs to be you need to be able to prove that you're doing that, which was not a simple thing. That's
yeah,
where the temporal data storage came into play. Um, so yeah, I think I don't feel too bad about it because I feel like we couldn't go to market with much less than what we've got right now
yeah.
and be able to even begin to do the things we're going to claim we're ready to do.
Yeah. Yeah, for other products, right? Building an MVP is a lot simpler
Yeah.
than this. This took you what 2.5 years, 2 years to
About 2
build.
years to get it to where you could have argued we had an MVP at that point.
Yeah,
But it didn't have the data storage system in it at that point. It didn't have some things in it that I think are going to end up being critical for the thing to even be credible on the market.
hmm.
So we'll see. You know, it's really different. One example they gave that really hit home for me was Airbnb. You know, Airbnb, their startup was, and I think they were a YC company.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
their
they were.
startup thing was a website that all it did was put you in touch with the person who owned the house. There was no sign up in it. There was nothing other than connecting you with the person who was trying to rent the thing. They didn't take
Yeah,
money, they didn't do anything. And you could do that with Airbnb.
yeah,
You know, it's what we're doing, not
not
so
so
much.
much.
If you want to
Yeah,
say it runs a robot, it better run a robot.
yeah, yeah. That is true. Just different ways. Yeah, there are different levels and intricacies to MVPs. They're not all the same.
Yeah, yeah. And what we're doing is kind of different than a lot of the startups that they're talking about at YC. You know, we're not some simple little thing that you can go throw something out there and see if it sticks to the wall.
Yeah,
We're doing something that for it to do anything, there's a little bit of work to do
yeah,
for it to happen.
yeah. But we've made a well, mostly you. I say we, but because my
It's the royal
but
we.
yeah. But yeah, I definitely do think that we have something here, and um, I don't want to throw like a date out there, but how long do you think until, assuming that I get all the stuff done in time that I need to do?
um, I think I'm gonna be ready to start looking for our first beta customer in 2 to 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
I need to finish up the help system. I need to do another full QA pass across the whole thing. Um, but I'm getting pretty comfortable with the quality behind it. It seems to be working and doing what I expect. And I want to be ready to do demos, and I want to make sure that
Nice.
I'm ready to support it.
Okay.
Um, and I think we want to set up some processes for both support and for staying in touch with our users. You know, part of this startup school thing is they just stress so much that those first few users, you want to be in Zoom meetings with them, you want to be doing screen shares with them, you want to be doing anything you can to find out how things are going, what they're doing, what their needs are, what's working for them and what's not working for them.
Yeah.
um, all that is so critical at this stage. So I want to be sure we're ready to do all of that. But heaven help me, I think about 3 weeks we ought to be pretty much ready. At least I'll be ready to go. We'll see if you are.
I better be.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say that, you know.
um, I was gonna say something. Yeah. So regarding users, it's something that I run into, and you probably have, as well, is that a lot of the times you get people who are, really excited for about a minute,
Yeah.
and then you give them the stuff, and then later like, hey, did you install it? Oh no, I haven't had a chance to install it yet, but okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a bit of a numbers game there, to where, yeah, we have a few users, but only a handful of them are going to actually be active and trying things out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And it's going to be real important for us to track that. You know, with the way the registration system on the software works, where we'll know when they're getting into the UI, that'll be real helpful, I think, towards that. But you're right. You know, I'm hoping 1 out of 10 actually does a project with the thing
yeah.
of the people who sign up for the beta. But those
Yeah,
1 out of 10, boy, do they ever need to get a lot of attention.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think not even that, and then also, if if we get lucky and this person is willing to collaborate with us, maybe join a live and kind of tell us about his or her project.
Yes.
And yeah, that's gonna be that would be really exciting to kind of show the community that, hey, it's not just us who can do it, other
That's
people can
right.
do it too.
That's right. So for anybody listening here, if you're one of the first 8 or 10 people who actually do a project with this thing, you're going to get a lot of really good, close attention from us.
Yeah.
We're going to be really motivated for your project to work out well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, things are dwindling down. We're down
Yeah.
to 5 users on Instagram, um, zero on YouTube. I guess it's expected when when we're starting. So, do
Yeah.
you think that we could do this a weekly thing, to where every Saturday we come on and kind of chat for a bit and give updates on about what's going on?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've actually started working on kind of an outline to give it sort of a semi-formal format, even so that people kind of know what to expect if they tune in, that we
Okay.
can work on together.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost like a TV show in a way,
Yeah.
so people know what to expect when they get in.
Yeah. And then just wait until we start doing flips and acrobatics and all that stuff. It's gonna get fun.
Yeah, yeah. I'm about to teach Antwerp the mashed potato. Boston Dynamics won't have anything on us. Not. Yeah, I think we're a long way from wanting to do the mashed potato with a robot. It's kind of not where we're going
Let's
exactly.
start with getting a beer from the fridge.
Yeah, yeah, or even just picking up a beer. I've got it to where I can recognize a beer now. Now, if I can get it to where it'll just pick up a beer, that's going to be a pretty big achievement.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, how's that going? So did you end up doing it locally, or you still making API calls for the recognition to happen?
Right now, I'm still doing the API calls out to Azure.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to have to get the way their model works. Their Onyx model is kind of strange, so I need to talk to Microsoft about it. Uh, right now, I've been much more focused on getting us to that beta launch place and ready for
Okay.
it. We have something where we can demonstrate object detection right now with my crummy upstream bandwidth up here. It's not as good as I'd like it to be, but we're doing object detection and we can show that. Um,
Okay.
so for right now, I think it's a higher priority to get us out there and start searching for that first customer, for the first real user, the first truly active user. And that's going to be the
Nice.
challenge, like we said. Is getting someone who's really out there using it, and trying to build a robotics project and trying to make it really happen.
Nice. I wonder. I'm pretty sure there are communities out there. Um, Maybe I should spend some time doing that too, looking to see.
Yeah, I know
The
what some of them are, and that is something that I've been thinking a lot about. There's a lot of robotics forums and communities and different stuff out there that we're going to want to start at least posting into, following rules and not plugging ourselves or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I think there's a lot of different places we want to start getting our name out there.
Nice. Well, I think we should call it leave. We've been on for about a half hour. I think I guess not bad. My camera didn't turn off. That's a plus.
That's something.
um, yeah. So I guess during the week we'll talk, and we'll try to put something together for next week. Unless you want to try doing one during the week. Um, but I guess we can touch on that and see. But for sure, a week from today, I'll try to schedule it to where it's at the same time, more or less, and maybe we'll have something ready next time, and at least a list of topics, like you said, that maybe we can touch on before um, we start getting questions. And I think it's going to be a bit uh, before we actually have people who are active on the stream right now. We could have a few people on, but not all of them are willing to, or any of them are willing to ask questions. But I think it's going to be interesting once we start um, getting comments and answering them.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be a gradual thing here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll at least be gradual.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll get some traction here. So I guess I'll talk to you tomorrow for the weekly meeting.
Yep. Yep. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Lee.
All right.
All right.
Have a
Have
good
a good
day.
rest of your Saturday, Lee. Talk to you
All
tomorrow.
right. You too.
And thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.